Hi and welcome to today's session. Today's session is about our dynamic core workout. So we're going to be using a mat and our body weight for the workout. So today we're going to be focusing on using all the muscles as an integrated unit. If you have any injuries, please make sure that you work out at the best of your ability and maintain a nice neutral position as much as you possibly can, and also work within your limits. So with no further ado, we're going to go to our mat and we're going to do a little bit of a breathing warm up, and then we're going to move straight on. So keeping that body nice and upright, keeping that body nice and connected. We're going to have that rib cage over the top of the pelvis, lengthening up through that spine. We're going to reach the arms all the way up to the ceiling and grow ourselves nice and tall and draw it down. So we want to maintain that nice neutral spine, lengthening all the way up for me, keeping that body nice and connected, nice and balanced. If you want to do this workout in bare feet, that's fine. If you want to do it in trainers, that's fine as well. If you feel that you have a better grip, then with the trainers, that's brilliant. If you need a bit more stability around the ankle joint, wear trainers. So we'll do one more repetition, and then we're going to reach all the way up and bring the arms down. So we're going to come to the end of your mat. So we're going to start with a roll down into a plank position. So feet are parallel, knees are soft. We're going to just tuck that chin down, we're going to roll it down, keeping the weight nice and equal to the right foot and the left foot. We're then going to walk it out into that plank position, keeping that body nice and straight and connected. We're then going to walk it back. Keep those abs in nice and tight. If you have a few knee crunches, that's okay. When we're at the bottom, we're going to tuck the tummy in, we're going to roll it up, we're going to lift up nice and tall and grow that spine up to a vertical position. We're going to take a big deep breath in, we're going to breathe out, we're going to have those knees nice and soft, we're going to roll it down. Now if you have specific disc injuries, then this exercise is not recommended for you unless you've had prior consultation with your physiotherapist or your GP that you're working with. And we're going to tuck that head down, we're going to roll it up, we're going to lift up nice and tall, keep that length through that body. We're going to roll it down. So again, we're getting that heart rate is getting a little bit more elevated, getting warmer. And we're working through, engaging through that core, integrating as many muscles as we possibly can. So again, we're just working on balance, mobility, control, strength, lifting up as tall as we can. So the beauty of this workout today is that we're just using our body weight. You don't need any other pieces of equipment, just your mat. If you don't have a mat, then you can do it on the floor, but also just be mindful that you don't slip, and obviously it won't give you as much cushioning if you're working on a wooden floor. And we're going to do just one more repetition. So again, keeping that chest nice and open, keep everything nice and lifted, keeping those abdominals nice and connected. Now we're going to stay down on the floor this time. So we're going to pop the knees down, we're going to lengthen our feet back. So we're going to get that nice big stretch through the back, pressing those hands into the floor. Now we're going to drop that weight forward. So we're in that 3/4 press up position. We're going to work on our triceps. So what we're going to do is we're going to let the elbows bend, we're going to draw down, and then we're going to press up. In between, we're then going to get that nice big stretch into that back. So we want to drop that weight forwards, fingertips are facing the front. You're going to bend your elbows, lower the body down to the floor, press it up, and sink it back. Keeping those toe muscles nice and connected. Obviously, depending on the strength in your arms, will depend on how far you go. It doesn't matter. Keeping it nice and smooth, nice and under control. That's it, lovely. So you want to keep that weight through the hand, keep the abdominals nice and connected, nice long straight backs. Really get that nice big stretch in between the shoulder blades. If you need to hold it there for an extra couple of seconds, that's fine. And last one. So we're still going to remain in this position. So when it comes to that all fours position, just going to bring our knees in a little bit. So we're going to work on our shoulder stability here now. So we're going to take the arm forwards, you want to tap the arm forwards, back to centre, to the side, centre. So we're going to reach it as far forward as we can, back to centre, then out to the side and centre. So you want to think about trying to reach about 1.5 feet away. Or probably about approximately maybe 60 centimetres away. So you want to keep those abs nice and tight. So this challenges that stability through the shoulder. It helps us work on our balance to make sure that we don't throw the weight from our hips. It gets us to really think about that core. And again, it helps us with our range of motion through the shoulders. So I'm just going to do one more on this side, and then I'm going to just give you a view from the front. So we're going to get that tap forwards, back, to the side, back. So if you can't reach very far, it really doesn't matter. If your arms start to tire, just have a little stretch back, like we have been doing in between the triceps. And we've got one more on each side. Brilliant. I'm just going to come back to the side so you can see that stretch. So I'm going to stretch it down. Really press down into the mat in between those shoulder blades. Brilliant. So we're going to follow that same pattern with the leg. So we're going to take the leg out, tap to the side, back in, draw in. So we're going to take it back, stay in contact with the floor, in and through. So if you're doing this bare feet, just be really mindful of your toes and the floor surface. So you may need to just do what I'm going to do on the next one, is you hover it slightly off the floor and just literally skim that leg off the floor. So when I talk about a skim, it's literally 1 centimetre to 2 centimetres max off the floor. It's not high in the air. So you have to really stabilise, really work through those abdominals. So really think about that length through that body. Don't be in a rush to do these exercises. They're better performed, nice and under control, with consideration. to do one more on each side. Great. We're going to sink our bottoms back. We're going to lengthen the arms through. Brilliant. So we're going to now still stay in that all fours position. We're going to lengthen that arm through, nice and long. We're going to contract and draw it back through. So nice and long arm through and back. Lovely. So we keep that length through that body, keeping that gap between the chin and the chest. This is about lengthening through, not height. And we'll do one more on each side. Brilliant. Now I'm going to sink it back, lengthen through. A nice big stretch. So we're going to give those wrists a bit of a break now. Okay, we're going to come over onto our backs. So if you need to have a cushion for this, that's absolutely fine. Underneath your head is fine. So first of all, let's just open up through that chest for me. We're going to have the fingertips resting on the thighs. We're going to take the arms back over towards our ears. We're then going to circle through the arms as the arms come out in line with your shoulders. We're going to flex and we're going to roll up. We're then going to take the arms all the way back over, lengthening through the back of the head and the crown of the head, and circling through, contracting through those abdominals, keeping that length through that body. So you want to keep that gap between the chin and the chest, nice and long. Really engaging through those abdominals, keeping that length through the fingertips, keeping that rib cage nice and connected. No straining or pulling through the neck. If you're struggling with your neck, then just take the arms around in circular action. Take the arms back over and through. Brilliant. And one more. Now, let's bring the arms down. We're going to alternate that exercise with a bridge action. So, we're going to focus on, as we breathe out, we're going to lift up through the hips. As we breathe out, we're going to roll down. As we're rolling down, we're then going to flex and curl up. So we're going to roll it down, bring the arms around, roll up through the hips. As we're rolling down, as soon as that pelvis gets around and down to the floor, we're then going to curl it up, roll down, bring the arms around. Hands come to your thighs, roll it up. Don't worry if you start migrating down your mat, and you'll start to bring the arms around as you're rolling down And then curling up. Right, I've migrated down my mat, so I'm just going to adjust myself down for action. Right, so do that again. So we just do 2 more of these. So we're going to roll up through the hips, opening the hip joints out. As you're bringing the arms around, let that pelvis roll down, and then we're going to flex up, roll it back down, bring the arms around again, and then we're going to roll up through the hips, and around, and flex. This time just give those knees a quick cuddle. And we're just going to lengthen that leg up, quick stretch into those hamstrings and the calves. So point and flex. Again, you want to keep that knee in line with the hip if you have that flexibility. If it's down there, that's okay, just support the leg. And then pop that knee down. Bring the other leg up. Point and flex, just increase that stretch through the calf, all the way down the hamstring. Keeping that length through that body and maintaining a nice neutral position. Brilliant. So we're going to take that leg out. We're going to be nice and long. We're going to raise that leg up, flex the foot, point the foot, lower it down. So when it only comes down to in line with that hip joint, we're going to raise the leg up, flex the foot, point the foot, lower it down. So we're going to lift, flex, point, lower. So again, stabilising through those abdominals. So we're going to keep that rib cage over the pelvis, keep that body nice and long and lengthened. So we're going to really keep that space between that rib and the hip. Don't scrunch it up. Keeping this strong and connected. One more. Right, so once that leg comes in, place that foot down to the ground. We're going to lengthen the other leg. And we're going to lift, point and flex, lower it down. So we're breaking this movement pattern up into 2 movement patterns before we do the movement as a unit. It does take a little bit of coordination. Just remember, it's really easy to go all the way down to the floor and arch your back. And one more. So bring that knee in, bring the knees together, give yourself a quick cuddle. Excellent. So we're going to lengthen that leg out. This time I'll bring your thumbs to your forehead. So we're going to rise, curl it up, flex, point, lower it down. And again. And one more. Pop that knee in. Right, so you can do it with your arms down by the side. Lengthen the leg out. I'm going to curl, point and flex. And lower. one more. Down, knees in, give them a quick cuddle. I'm going to come over onto our side. Now we're going to have that body as long as we possibly can. So keeping that body as long, I'm going to keep that gap between the chin and the chest. So what we're going to focus on now is just by drawing the waist muscles up away from the floor. So if you struggle with this, just bend your knees, have your knees bent, and really just focus on drawing that waist away from the floor and releasing. Because it's really easy when you start to do line on your side work to really focus on just pushing your waist into the floor. So we want to focus on placing your hands underneath, draw the waist up, keep the hips nice and stacked one on the other, and release it down. So we're going to really tighten the waist up and down, and up and down. Remember to breathe. So you want to feel that tightening across your tummy, underneath the waist and down. And one more. I'm going to do the same position on the side to make sure it stays nice and balanced. So I'm going to have my knees in front, so knees in line with my hips. Arms nice and long. I'm going to place my hand underneath my waist. I'm going to draw it up and release it down. So getting this connection underneath here is really important in the stabilisation of those abs as a unit for support for the spine. And one more. Brilliant. So we come back to our all fours position. We're going to have a little bit of recovery now. So we're going to come on to what's called a leg pull, perhaps I have an itchy nose today. And keep that body nice and long. So we're going to tuck the toes under. We're just going to hover up into this position and stabilise. So we're going to hold. We're going to breathe in 1, 2, 3 breaths and take it down again. And we're going to do it again. And 1, 2, 3 and down. So as we're pushing up into our shoulders, we want to really stabilise across that shoulder girdle, keeping everything nice and tight and engaged. Keeping that length through that body and keeping everything nice and connected. And 2 more. And 1 more. Brilliant. So flatten the feet out, lengthen the arms through, get a nice big stretch for our backs. Brilliant. So we're going to come onto our bottoms. We're going to start with what's called our reverse leg pull. So first of all, we want to have our fingers where it's comfortable. So you may find your fingers need to be turned out to the side. You may find it easier to have your fingertips facing the back. You may find it easier to have your fingertips facing the front. It's whatever is most comfortable for your bodies. It's really that important. Okay, you've got to make sure it's right for your shoulders, your elbows and your wrists. So I'm going to have mine slightly turned out. Now we're going to start with our feet slightly away. So not out straight and not bunched up in. Okay, so halfway between the 2 points. What we're going to do is we're going to lift out of our chest and just raise our bottoms up. Hold it here, and then lower it down. So you want to keep those abdominals nice and contracted, and we're going to raise up, hold, and lower it down. And we're going to raise up, and down. So we're just lifting those hips off the ground, keeping the shoulders nice and open, and keeping that width across that body. If you can feel that you want to go a little bit further apart, take the legs a little bit further away, and we start to lift up a little bit more. And we do that 2 more times. And last one. Brilliant. So we're going to come around to the front. We're going to give those wrists a really good bend back. So you've been working that way. Just turn the fingertips to the floor and stretch out through the front of the forearm and your wrists. And then we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So fingertips come down to the floor. Draw them very gently back towards you. Fantastic. Now we're going to take the arm across the body. Get that nice big stretch through those shoulders. Keeping that body nice and long and lengthened. If you can't sit cross-legged, then come up to a kneeling position or a standing position. That is fine. And then we'll take the arm across the body. That's it. Brilliant. So we're going to come up to a kneeling position for this next one. Then you can see a little bit better. So I'm going to turn and face my back to you. We have the arm up. We'll bring the hand coming down to touch the back of the collar. And we're going to get that stretch into those triceps. And then we'll do exactly the same with the other side. Fantastic. And then we're going to we bring one foot up, tuck the toes under, and come up to a standing position. So we're just going to stretch out through those front of those legs. We're just going to bring the ankle up to the bottom, pop the knees together, keeping that length through that body. And then we're going to switch the legs over, get that balance. Don't worry if you're a bit wobbly today, that's absolutely fine. Brilliant. And that's the end of today's workout. So today's workout has been all about activating through the core, doing dynamic movements, working as a unit. And I hope you've enjoyed today's session, and we look forward to seeing you very soon. Thank you and goodbye.